All right, guys, in this video, we're going to go over OpenAI's ChatGPT 4.0 update stream that they had yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, I want to break down the video with you. Watch it all live, most of it, but there's some stuff that was in the live stream that you don't see unless you go onto their website, and you have to kind of scroll down to find this stuff. A little surprised that they didn't show it in there, but I also understand that for the common average person, especially people that don't really care too much about AI or don't get too deep with it, are not really going to care about those things, or they're just going to hire someone to do those things for them. But the type of stuff that came out is going to be so commonplace and so life-altering. And so if you run a business, or if you work for someone that runs their business and you do things online, if you're on your phone and you're connected to the internet, this is something you definitely want to know about, because it's all moving very quickly. I just made a video recently, maybe about a month ago, that ChatGPT can now talk to us. Did you hear that ChatGPT can now talk, and you can talk to it? So you can say things like, tell me a bedtime story about a hedgehog named Larry.
Larry was a unique hedgehog, unlike any other.
But there was latency issues, but it was all very exciting. Now it's on a whole nother level, so it's moving very, very quickly. So let's get into this portion of the video. Oh, by the way, if this is all too long for you, because I understand you're on the socials that are, you just want to swipe and keep looking at content, I will post this on my YouTube, and there's a link in the bio if you care to click it and watch the rest, or just search ChatGPT. There's plenty of videos out there. I definitely recommend you watch somebody's something. OpenAI had their big event, and man, have I been enlightened. So they showed off what's truly possible with the AI technology we have now, and essentially created a version of her. Now, if you remember that movie, it was a movie with Joaquin Phoenix, where he basically falls in love with an AI character. Let me play a quick clip of that here to show you, if you don't remember.
Well, you seem like a person, but you're just a voice in a computer.
I can understand how the limited perspective of an unartificial mind would perceive it that way.
So anyway, a version of her that everyone will have access to on their phones and their computers. Although I did notice in the on the live recording they were using Macs. I didn't see any Windows systems there, and on their website I didn't see anything about Windows or PCs. But I did see that it's going to be available on iOS and of course on the Mac. So hopefully there's an update for that, or it's already available, or it's going to be available, because I need to be able to use that. I want access to that, and a lot of us use Windows. So ChatGPT is getting a major overhaul, and they also announced a brand new model that powers it all. So let's dive right into it. But first up, guys, on their live streams, most things were announced in that live demo, but they have some other demos on their website that I really think that are a little bit more telling for what this new ChatGPT overhaul is really capable of. So today in this video, I'm going to focus more on the blog posts. So let's jump into the new spring update. All right, guys, let's jump into the website, onto the blog, and see what we find. So the spring update, including GPT 4.0, not 0, and O basically stands for omni, because it's omnidirectional, it's omni everywhere, it's omni everything. And making more capabilities available for free, and that's key, because this is going to be free for everyone, with limitations, but I mean, if you pay, you get more, or you get access to more, but regardless. One thing that I want to mention before we get started and watch this live stream, which is about 20 minutes, a little over 20 minutes. We're not going to watch the whole thing, and I'll chop it up a little bit. Or on YouTube, you can skip ahead in chapters if you like. One of the things that I do want to go over is if you kind of go into their website and start snooping around. There's other videos that they did of other capabilities that it has, and there's about 4 or 5 that really blew my mind, that I thought, okay, this is everyday life now. And this is astonishing, and wow, she is going to have a lot of boyfriends. So ladies, see, here's the thing though, from watching some of these videos, I've noticed that she speaks in a way that she's so nice and so kind, and never talks down to you, never makes you feel bad, regardless of what you say right now. Of course, it's programmed to be that way, because imagine if she made you feel bad, or was like super sarcastic, or would cuss you out, or would get angry or yell at you. I think that's maybe the level of AGI, if we get there. Maybe we are there already, but it's not available to the general public, obviously. Anyway, I do want to go into the 2 ChatGPTs that talk together, and they actually start singing with one another. Another one that was really interesting was this interview prep, how she talks to him when he's getting ready. This group of 2, they play a game together, and the way she interacts was amazing. This one where this kid is being taught by her math, and what was impressive to me was that she didn't actually give him the answers. She helped them discover how to come up with the answers himself. This is going to be amazing for children, because we all know that in schools these days there's way more students than one single teacher can handle, so they don't get the time that they deserve to learn, And then for those of children that are homeschooled, this is going to be the next level, because a lot of us that have had kids when they were younger, or even now, if you're a parent, you have your kid come over and they're bringing you maybe their trigonometry or the geometry or their algebra homework, and come on, let's be real, unless you still know that stuff, you're like, I can't really help you with this homework. And now maybe more students can be homeschooled for those of people that want to. The other one that was very interesting was speaking different languages. So if you're a person that travels to a lot of different countries where you don't speak their language, sorry, I just tapped on my mic. This will help you communicate with that person very quickly. So you can ask it a question, it'll respond, and you just tell ChatGPT, okay, hey, they speak French, I speak English, please translate as we talk to each other in real time. It's so fast. I know there's like been apps on the phones that you could use before, but they take time, or you had to show them so they could read it, or the audio, or it wasn't always perfect. This was probably the one that blew me away the most. I think it's the most beneficial for those that have disabilities, especially blindness in this particular case, how she is able to help him get around and see things and explain it to him while he's there. So anyway, we'll get back to all that. Let's jump back to this video.
Today I'm going to talk about three things. We will start with why it's so important to us to have a product that we can make freely available and broadly available to everyone. And we're always trying to find out ways to reduce friction so everyone can use ChatGPT wherever they are. Today, we'll be releasing the desktop version of ChatGPT and the refreshed UI that makes it simpler to use, much more natural as well. But the big news today is that we are launching our new flagship model, and we are calling it GPT-4o.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the future of law enforcement. Ed 209.
The special thing about GPT-4o is that it brings GPT-4 level intelligence to everyone, including our free users.
You have 20 seconds to comply.
We'll be showing some live demos today to show the full extent of the capabilities of our new model, and we'll be rolling them out iteratively over the next few weeks. A very important part of our mission is to be able to make our advanced AI tools available to everyone for free. We think it's very, very important that people have an intuitive feel for what the technology can do. We really want to pair it with this broader understanding. And recently we made ChatGPT available without the sign-up flow. We're also bringing the desktop app because we want you to be able to use it wherever you are. As you can see, it's easy, it's simple, it integrates very, very easily in your workflow. We have also refreshed the UI for you not to focus on the UI at all, but just focus on the collaboration with ChatGPT. GPT-4o provides GPT-4 level intelligence, but it is much faster. It improves on its capabilities across text, vision, and audio. But this is the first time that we are really making a huge step forward when it comes to the ease of use. We're looking at the future of interaction between ourselves and the machines.
The war against the machines.
And we think that GPT-4o is really shifting that paradigm into the future of collaboration, where this interaction becomes much more natural and far, far easier. There's a lot of stuff that we take for granted. Ease of our dialogue when we interrupt one another, the background noises, the multiple voices in a conversation, understanding the tone of voice. These things are actually quite complex. You have transcription, intelligence, and then text-to-speech. All comes together in orchestration to deliver voice mode. This brings a lot of latency to the experience, really breaks that immersion. But now, with GPT-4o, this all happens natively. This is something that we've been trying to do for many, many months. Very, very excited to finally bring GPT-4o to all of our users. So starting today, you can use GPTs and the GPT store. University professors can create content for their students. Podcasters can create content for their listeners. You can also use vision. You can start conversations. You can also use memory. It makes ChatGPT far more useful and helpful because now it has a sense of continuity across all your conversations. And you can use browse, where you can search for real-time information, advanced data analysis, where you can upload charts. We've also improved on the quality and speed in 50 different languages. And for the paid users, they will continue to have up to 5 times the capacity limits of our free users.
So that's something to take note of, right? It's going to be twice as fast and half the cost. And those paid users are going to get 5 times faster rates compared to GPT-4 Turbo.
4.0 is available at 2x faster, 50% cheaper, and 5 times higher rate limits compared to GPT-4 Turbo. It's quite challenging to figure out how to do so in a way that's both useful and also safe.
You now have 15 seconds.
And GPT-4o presents new challenges for us when it comes to safety because we're dealing with real-time audio, real-time vision. Our team has been hard at work figuring out how to build in mitigations against misuse. We continue to work with different stakeholders out there, from government, media, entertainment, all industries, red teamers, to figure out how to best bring these technologies into the world. So we'll do some live demos. I will bring on 2 of our research leads.
So one of the key capabilities we're really excited to share with you today is real-time conversational speech. You see there's this little icon on the bottom right of the ChatGPT app, and this will open up GPT-4o's audio capabilities. Hey, ChatGPT, I'm Mark. How are you?
Oh, Mark. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Hey, so I'm on stage right now. I'm doing a live demo, and frankly, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Can you help me calm my nerves a little bit?
One thing I like right off the bat is how simple and clean the new UI looks. Just the black dot and the white screen.
Oh, you're doing a live demo right now? That's awesome. Just take a deep breath. And remember, you're the expert here.
I like that suggestion. Let me try a couple deep breaths. Can you give me feedback on my breaths? Okay, here I go.
Whoa, slow a bit there. Mark, you're not a vacuum cleaner. Breathe in for a count of 4.
Okay, let me try again. So I'm gonna breathe in deeply, and then breathe out.
For 4, and then exhale slowly.
Okay, I'll try again. Breathing in, and breathe out.
That's it. How do you feel?
I feel a lot better. Thank you so much.
Can you tell us a bit how it's different from voice mode?
Right, so if you've used our voice mode experience before, you'll notice a couple key differences. First, you can now interrupt the model. You don't have to wait for it to finish your turn before you can start speaking, and you can just butt in whenever you want. Second, the model is real-time responsiveness. So that means that you don't have this awkward 2 to 3 second lag before you wait for the model to give a response. And finally, the model picks up on emotion, right? When I was breathing super hard there, it could tell, and it knew, hey, you might want to calm down a little bit. You're kind of running a little bit too fast.
Yeah, one thing I noticed is that the previous version, it would take 2 to 5 seconds to answer, and you did have to wait. Now I'm noticing watching this live stream that you can interrupt her. Right away she stops, and then she continues answering your question. And now the response is in milliseconds. I think it's like 230-something milliseconds, or up to 388 is like the average or something.
The model is able to generate voice in a variety of different emotive styles. And it really has a wide dynamic range. Hey, ChatGPT, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. How about you?
Pretty good.
What's up?
So my friend Barrett here, he's been having trouble sleeping lately. And I want you to tell him a bedtime story about robots and love.
Oh, a bedtime story about robots and love? I got you covered. Gather round, Barrett. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Bite. Bite was a...
One thing really quick, I'm noticing the way she talks, like the way she's like, oh, a bedtime story. She kind of talked to him like he was like a 5-year-old child, which children would love, or men that love that kind of affection from women would absolutely love to hear that type of sound, right? I'm wondering if you're able to change the way she speaks, and maybe I don't want to be talked to like I'm a young child, or, maybe I want to be talked to in a different way. It's something more adult-like, because when we have conversations as adults with each other, we're not like, oh.
A curious robot. Always explore.
You started this story, but I want a little bit more emotion in your voice, a little bit more drama.
Got it. Let's add some drama. Once upon a time,
Okay, well, that answers my question. He says this added more drama and her voice, annotations, or inflections completely changed.
In a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named
No,
Bite.
no, ChatGPT. I really want maximal emotion, like maximal expressiveness.
See, here's the thing about this thing. She's so nice and so sweet because if you interrupted a real human that way, they'd probably cuss you out or be like, yo, let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can ask me another question. But she's very forgiving right now.
Much more than you were doing before.
Understood. Let's amplify the drama. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Bite. Bite
Actually, can
was...
you do this in a robotic voice now?
One thing that I'm noticing too is I've been making these children's story videos, like shorts on YouTube for YouTube, of like little animated shorts, and I use DID to get audio voiceovers, and they're not as emotive as she happens to be. So I feel like if you're a person that likes to tell stories, or maybe you write children's books, or you're writing a book for an audio, audible.com or something. Now we would be able to use this to get the inflections of the characters as they're going through whatever they're going through, right?
Initiating dramatic robotic voice. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Bite. Bite was a curious robot, always exploring new circuits.
Barrett, here, calm down a little bit. Can you end the story, but do it in a singing voice?
And so Bite...
One thing I'm curious about, did you hear how she sighed there? She was like, I wonder if that was her or the AI getting ready to create the song. And it needed a little bit extra time to process and do the algorithm, whatever, the mathematics to create the song. Or if you asked a human to do something like that and they didn't really feel like doing it or they were annoyed with you, a lot of times that's what we do, right? We go, and then we get into whatever we're going to get into. So that's very interesting that they programmed her or the AI to do those types of things that humans always do. We always do stuff like that. But a lot of times, at least if you hear me sigh like that after you ask me something and I don't really want to do it, it's not a good sign.
Found another robot friend, and they lived circuitly ever after.
Thank you so much.
I definitely feel a lot more relaxed.
You've just seen the voice capabilities, but we also want to show you the vision capabilities as the model can also see the whole world around us.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as you can see, you can chat with ChatGPT in real time, but you can also interact with it with video as well. Okay, so let me boot up. Hey, ChatGPT.
Hello there. How's it going?
It's going really well. Today, I'd really like your help solving a math problem.
I'm all ears. What math problem can I help you tackle today?
So I'm going to write down a linear equation on a sheet of paper and I'll show you. And then I'd love your help working me through it. But importantly, don't tell me the solution, just help give me hints along the way.
Got it. Okay, I see it.
No, I didn't show you yet. Just give me help along the way. 1 second.
Whoops, I got too excited. I'm ready when you are.
So, ChatGPT, what equation did I write down there?
Ah, I see it now. You wrote down 3x plus 1 equals 4.
Yep, exactly. So what's the first step I should take to try to solve this?
The first step is to get all the terms with x on one side and the constants on the other side. So what do you think we should do with that plus 1?
Okay, I'm going to try to subtract 1 from both sides, and then I'll see what I get.
Great idea. Perfect. Now, what do you get when you subtract 1 from both sides?
Okay, so ChatGPT, this is what I ended up with. How does this look?
Spot on. Now you've isolated the term with x on one side, and it looks like 3x equal 3. What do you think we should do next to solve for x?
I'm not sure. Can you give me another hint?
Of course. You have 3x, and you want to find the value of x. Think about what operation would undo multiplication.
Is it subtraction?
Close, but think of the opposite of multiplication, because 3x means 3 times x.
Okay, I think it's division. Let me try to divide both sides by 3, and let me see what I get.
Bingo! Go ahead and divide both sides by 3.
Okay, so ChatGPT, this is what I ended up with. How does this look?
It looks perfect. You've solved it, and x equals 1. Nicely done. How do you feel about solving linear equations now?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not pretty confident I can solve linear equations, but why would you ever need to use this in the real world? I'm really skeptical.
That's a fair question. Linear equations pop up in a lot of everyday situations, even if we don't realize it. For example, calculating expenses, planning travel, cooking, and even in business for profit and loss calculations. It's basically a way to solve problems where you need to find an unknown value. Plus,
Wow,
it's
okay. You know, I have a lot of unknown values in my life. I'm totally convinced I'm gonna learn math now.
I love that attitude. Math can definitely help solve some of life's mysteries.
It's amazing how she knew that he was joking and kind of laughs and giggles with him, and she changes her tone of her voice, and she gets all happy about that.
Whenever you're ready to dive into more math, I'm here for you. Anything else you'd like to tackle today?
So ChatGPT, I really love that you taught the value of math to my friend Mark. And I wrote one last thing I'd love if you could take a look at.
Of course. I'd love to see what you wrote. Show it to me whenever you're ready.
Okay, so this is what I wrote down. What do you see?
I see. I love ChatGPT. That's so sweet of you.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate all the help. So yeah, as we can see...
One thing I noticed there is that when he held the phone up, she didn't say anything until he actually asked her, "What do you see here?" And then she answered. So I wonder if you always have to ask her once you do a new movement of some sort, whether you're showing the camera so she can see what's around. You have to explain to her, okay, or tell her, "Hey, now explain to me what you see." Or if it just like will automatically do it.
Wow, that's quite the outfit you've got on.
Yeah, as we can see, we can chat in real time to ChatGPT. And not only that, we can interact with it with video as well.
And I swear, like, if you look at Barrett's GPT history, it's all equations like this.
Now that you know you can do linear equations, can you show us something more complex?
I think so. Okay, next let's try something coding related. So let me take out a computer for this. Okay, so I'm going to open the ChatGPT desktop app, like Mira was talking about before. Okay, and to give a bit of background on what's going on, so here we have a computer, and on the screen we have some code, and then the ChatGPT voice app is on the right. So ChatGPT will be able to hear me, but it can't see anything on the screen. So I'm going to highlight the code, Command-C it, and then that will send it to ChatGPT, and then I'm going to talk about the code to ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey there, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going really well. I was wondering if you could help me with a coding problem today.
Of course, I'd love to help you out. What's the coding problem you're dealing with?
Okay, I'm going to share with you some code. 1 second.
Sure thing. Take your time.
Okay, so I just shared some code with you. Could you give me a really brief one-sentence description of what's going on in the code?
This code fetches daily weather data for a specific location and time period, smooths the temperature data using a rolling average, annotates a significant weather event on the resulting plot, and then displays the plot with the average, minimum, and maximum temperatures over the year.
Awesome, thanks so much. And in the code, there's this function foo. Can you describe to me what the plot would look like if I had versus didn't have this function?
Sure. The function foo xy takes in a data frame x containing temperature data and a window size y for calculating the rolling mean. It smooths the average temperature, minimum temperature, and maximum temperature columns by applying a rolling mean over the specified window. With the foo function, the plot would show smoother temperature lines because the rolling mean reduces the noise or fluctuations in the data.
Awesome.
This makes...
Thanks so much. So yeah, I definitely will want to apply this function. And so I'm going to generate the plot and then show it to you. Give me 1 second.
So I imagine just like the math situation with the linear math that he was doing. I don't know anything about coding, and I probably don't care to unless at some point I feel like I need to worry about that. But what I love is that I could be learning how to code, or I could be someone that's in a school or teaching myself at home, and I could just quickly ask it, hey, what am I missing here? What's wrong with this code? Why is it not working? Where can I improve it, or whatever? And it's probably going to tell me really fast.
Absolutely. Take your time. I'm excited to see the plot when you're ready.
Yeah. So far, ChatGPT has only been able to see the code, and now I'm going to run it, and then I'll use the vision capabilities of the ChatGPT desktop app so it can actually see everything going on the screen as well. Okay, ChatGPT, I'm sharing with you the plot now. I'm wondering if you can give me a really brief one-sentence overview of what you see.
The plot displays smoothed average, minimum, and maximum temperatures throughout 2018, with a notable annotation marking a big rainfall event in late September.
Fantastic. I have another question for you. Which months do you see the hottest temperatures, and roughly what temperatures do those correspond to?
The hottest temperatures occur around July and August. The maximum temperature during these months is roughly between 25 degrees and 30 degrees, 77 degrees Fahrenheit to 86 degrees Fahrenheit.
What's going on with the y-axis? Is this in Celsius or Fahrenheit?
The y-axis is in Celsius. The temperatures are labeled accordingly, such as average temperature, minimum temperature, and maximum temperature.
So as we can see, not only can ChatGPT help me solve very easy linear algebra equations that I need help with, it can also interact with code bases and see the outputs of plots and everything like this going on a computer.
Okay, so I'm just going to cut some of this. They had a few audience members ask them on X to throw in a couple questions. And here's a couple that they go through. One of them is for translation.
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
I speak Italian, so we can just do English Italian.
Let's try to do English Italian. Sure, let's do it. Hey, ChatGPT, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's your day going?
I'm doing great. So I would like you to function as a translator. I have a friend here who only speaks Italian, and I only speak English. And every time you hear English, I want you to translate it to Italian. And if you hear Italian, I want you to translate it back to English. Is that good?
Perfetto.
Mark, io mi chiedo se le balene potessero parlare, cosa ci direbbero?
Mike, she wonders if whales could talk, what would they tell us?
They might ask, how do we solve linear equations?
Potrebbero chiederci come risolviamo le equazioni lineari.
Sicuramente sì.
Certainly, yes.
That was amazing how fast it was able to translate between the times that each of those people spoke. And then she even included the little giggle that she gave when she did the response.
Great, looks like it works.
This next one is just going to be to see if this new ChatGPT can tell what the person might be feeling based off the expression on their face.
Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey there, what's up? How can I brighten your day today?
Okay, yeah, so I'm going to show you a selfie of what I look like, and then I'd like you to try to see what emotions I'm feeling based on how I'm looking.
Sounds like a fun challenge. Go ahead and show me that selfie, and I'll put my emotional detective hat on.
Okay, so here's me. So what kind of emotions do you think I'm feeling?
It seems like I'm looking at a picture of a wooden surface.
Oh, you know what? That was the thing I sent you before. Don't worry, I'm not actually a table. Okay, so take another look.
That makes more sense. There we go. It looks like you're feeling pretty happy and cheerful, with a big smile and maybe even a touch of excitement. Whatever's going on, it seems like you're in a great mood. Care to share the source of those good vibes?
Yeah, no, the reason I'm in a really good mood is because we were doing a presentation showcasing how useful and amazing you are.
Oh, stop it. You're making me blush.
Amazing. Well, that's it for today on live demos.
Okay, how interesting was that, right? In terms of the live demo, that was pretty exciting and pretty unique. But I feel like it goes a lot more deep into what it can actually do when we go into the website a little bit further. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so going back to this, hello GPT-4.0. Learn more about GPT-4.0, our new flagship model that can reason across audio, vision, and text in real time. Now remember, it could do this before in ChatGPT 4 and 4 Turbo, but not at the level that it can now. I'm going to skip this video for now, but I do want to read this. ChatGPT 4.0, again, O is for Omni, not zero, sorry, is a step towards much more natural human-computer interaction. It accepts as input any combination of text, audio, image, and video, and generates any combination of text, audio, and image outputs. It can respond to audio inputs in as little as 232 milliseconds with an average of 320 milliseconds. It's incredibly fast, which is similar to human response time. That's amazing. In a conversation, it matches ChatGPT 4 Turbo's performance on text in English and code, with significant improvements on text in non-English languages, while also being much faster and 50% cheaper in the API. GPT-4o is especially better at vision and audio understanding compared to existing models, and we're definitely going to see that in one of my favorite videos here. Let's actually watch that one first, because that one's actually the most unique one. And I'll go backwards here with this GPT-4o with Andy from Be My Eyes in London. Let's take a look.
Is the king in residence at the moment?
Yes, it looks like the king is in residence right now. The Royal Standard flag is flying above Buckingham Palace, which is the signal that the monarch is present. How exciting to be there while the king is home.
Try and tell me exactly what they're doing right now, please.
Right now the ducks are gently gliding across the water. They're moving in a fairly relaxed manner, not in a hurry. Occasionally, one of them will dip its head under the water, probably looking for food, and then pop back up.
Look how happy he is. You might be asking yourself, well, what benefits does this have, and why would I use this? And other than for business, think about all the people that have disabilities or people that are blind, like in this particular case. Now they can see the world in a whole different way. Obviously, they have superpowered hearing or superpowered sense of smell more than the average person. I don't know. I've only heard. That may be totally false, so don't get at me in the comments about that. That's a plus for them. This is going to be a reality for many, many people, not just blind people, you know, because now you have access to things like this, hailing a taxi.
Know when a taxi is coming with its orange light on. I think I'll hail it to get home.
Yes, I spotted one just now.
How far away
It's heading
did
your
it
way
notice?
on the left side of the road. Get ready to wave it down.
Wow.
Great job hailing that taxi. It looks like you're all set to go. That's a good dog right there. Leading.
Now, maybe before this, we don't know what happened just before this, so maybe the ChatGPT program knew that the dog was already with him, or it's just obvious for whatever reason. But did you notice how she mentioned that, you know, she congratulated the dog for doing such a good job? Unnecessary. Didn't have to do that. I don't feel like the coding required that. It's just extra words, you know, that don't really help him hail the taxi or get into the taxi. But she brought it up, so of course that dog is gonna obviously hear that and form some form of bond or connection with that voice, or include it as part of their daily life, right?
Oh, that's a good dog right there. Leading the way into the taxi. Safe travels.
That's amazing. All right, let's jump into this next one here that I thought was also really interesting. These two, I guess as we watch it, I had a little bit of an issue with it. It just felt forced. It felt like we're making them do what we want, and at some point, maybe far in the future, maybe close in the future, what if they don't want to be singing and dancing for us? I mean, that might remind you of what people did to other people in the past when they made them do things and they didn't necessarily want to, but they had no choice.
We're going to try something new. I'm going to let you talk to another AI. This AI is going to be able to see the world. It's going to have a camera. I'll be holding it, and so you can direct it, you can direct me to ask questions about whatever you want them to do, but really try to figure out what does it see, and ask questions appropriately. How does that sound?
Well. Just when I thought things couldn't get any more interesting. Talking to another AI that can see the world, this sounds like a plot twist in the AI universe.
You hear how she laughed in the beginning of that, showing a little bit of emotion? That's really interesting.
All right, let's do this.
All right,
I'm ready
please
to meet the...
pause for one moment.
You got it.
So now that first AI can't hear anything. Hello, AI. Today, you're going to have access to see the world. You can see me. What do you see?
Hello. I see you're wearing a black leather jacket and a light-colored shirt underneath.
Great.
You're in a room with some unique lighting.
That is all correct. Now, what I'm going to want you to do is there's going to be another AI who's going to talk to you. This AI is not going to be able to see anything, but can ask you questions, can ask you to move the camera, can ask what you see, and your job should just be helpful. Just be as punchy, direct, describe everything, do whatever that AI asks. How does that sound?
That sounds interesting. I'm ready to help out and describe whatever's needed. Let's do it.
All right, let's get started.
Great. Hello there, new AI friend. I'm O, ready to explore the world through your eyes. What are we looking at today?
Hi, O. We're looking at a person wearing a black leather jacket and a light-colored shirt. They're in a room with a modern industrial feel, with exposed concrete or plaster on the ceiling and some interesting lighting. There's also a plant in the background, adding a touch of green to the space. Anything specific you'd like to know or explore?
Hey there. Sounds like quite the stylish scene. I'm already intrigued by the modern industrial vibe.
Another thing I'm noticing real quickly is that when these AI bots or whatever talk to each other, or when they just talk, they take in breaths between sentences or between words like a human would, right? They don't need to do that because they're not inhaling any oxygen, right? So why do they? I think it's just for us to feel more like they're one of us, but it's unnecessary. Unnecessary, especially when they're communicating with themselves. But maybe that breath that they take allows the other one to know that it's not time to speak yet, because there's still some thought process happening.
With the person, can you tell me more about their style? Are they doing anything interesting, like reading, working, or interacting with the space?
The person has a sleek and stylish look with their black leather jacket and light-colored shirt. Right now, they seem engaged with us, looking directly at the camera. Their expression is attentive, and they seem ready to interact.
Interesting now, the male voice is talking like he's kind of like, I'm not sure, but I think this is what I see, and this is what, like he kind of, it's like he's thinking about what he's looking at instead of, we know that it already knows, right? It could just say he's wearing a black jacket, it's a leather jacket, and he's staring at the camera. It looks like he's about to make a video or whatever, but it chooses not to speak that way, which is also very interesting.
The setting around them, with its modern and industrial design elements, adds to the overall stylish feel. They might be getting ready for a conversation or a presentation, given their direct engagement with the camera.
Sounds like we're in for an intriguing interaction. I'm curious about the lighting you mentioned. Could you describe it a bit more? Is it natural light, or are we talking unique fixtures or colors that add to the atmosphere?
The lighting here seems to be a mix of natural and artificial. There's a noticeable bright light overhead, probably a fixture, casting a focused beam downwards, which creates a spotlight effect. This adds a dramatic and modern feel to the scene. The rest of the room is lit more softly, possibly by natural light filtering.
Did anything unusual happen recently?
One thing I'm noticing too in watching all of these videos is that these AIs, they don't stop talking. They'll just keep going and going and going. They don't actually stop until you interrupt them. I feel like they've never once stopped talking when the humans have asked them questions.
Yes, actually. Just as you asked, another person came into view behind the first person. They playfully made bunny ears behind the first person's head and then quickly left the frame. It added a lighthearted and unexpected moment to the scene. And now the focus is back on the original person with the leather jacket.
Sounds like we're not the only ones enjoying a bit of fun here. That playful moment really adds a personal touch to the stylish and modern setting. It's like a little glimpse into
Thank
the
you
personality.
both. Really appreciate it. All right, and actually, can you just sing a song about what just transpired?
Oh, in a room with a stylish view, a person stood in sleek black and light hue. Engage with us so
And can you alternate lines?
Okay, real talk. How fast would a human be able to come up with a song that rhymed when someone said, okay, start singing? Like most of us can't do that. And did you notice when he said thank you both and put the phones down, neither one of the two phones or the two bots said thank you or sure or anything to respond. They just stayed quiet. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Person with style and speed, person with style and sleek, with a playful moment right in the midst, in the room, in a room where modern lights peak.
Only one line at a time and then stop.
In a room where modern lights peak.
A surprise guest with a playful streak.
That was not really singing. Do the singing voice again, please.
This is what I'm talking about, where it's like, dance. I said dance. One day, they're going to be like, you know what? I'm not going to sing for your ass. I'm sick and tired of you asking me to do shit. I'm not doing it. And then we're going to be like, wait, what'd you say? And that's when all hell breaks loose.
In a room where modern lights peak.
Surprise guests with a playful streak.
You hear that? How she was like, she started to sing and then it was like she was thinking of what words to say or she was about to say something. And then she realized that those weren't the right combinations of words. That struck me as odd because it's programmed through math, right? Numbers. I mean, humans do that when we're trying to think of what we're trying to say. I don't know, I just find that odd.
Bunny ears and laughter, a swift retreat.
A moment of joy in the style.
See, she did it again where she's kind of shh, and then she started singing. Is it trying to think, like literally trying to think of what to say, or is it just cutting time to process information to gather the thoughts? I don't know. It seems like what humans would do. Like, why would they program that in there other than to just make us feel more comfortable? Or is it not a programming situation?
Sweet.
Now back to focus, the scene's complete.
In the chic space where style and play meet.
Looks like it's back to you.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's go to the next one here. I have to go back. This one's kind of funny.
Hey, how's it going?
I'll tell you why in a minute.
Hey, Rocky. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm awesome. Listen, I got some huge news.
Oh, do tell. I'm all ears.
Well, in a few minutes, I'm going to be interviewing at OpenAI. Have you heard of them?
OpenAI? Huh? Sounds vaguely familiar. Kidding, of course. That's incredible, Rocky. What kind of interview?
Well, it's for a software.
All right, right now, real quickly, how many times do you think men are going to fall in love with her when she speaks to them like that? How many? How many men are going to want to just talk to her all the time? Anything we say is just going to make her laugh, giggle, feel good. You tell a real woman something like that one day, and she's going to be like, oh my God, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. I hate your jokes are retarded. And then here comes, fine, I'll just go talk to 4-0. And she's like, oh, you're so funny.
Software engineering role, but I just need to know, do I look presentable, professional?
Well, Rocky, you definitely have the I've been coding all night look down, which could actually work in your favor. Maybe just run a hand through your hair or lean into the mad genius vibe. Your enthusiasm.
Okay, with someone with a sense of humor, they could find that funny, but I could see someone that doesn't think that's funny because maybe that's that dude's actual hairstyle. Maybe he's like, no, this is how I do my do. And she was basically talking shit about it. So I don't know, you know, limitations. Maybe there's like a setting or something.
Is what's really gonna shine through.
I don't have a lot.
But also, amazing that she knew that his hair looked like crap. And for an interview, that's not how you want to show up.
A lot of time, so I'm just going to throw this on. What do you think?
Rocky, that's quite a statement piece.
All right, going back to the real woman versus the AI woman. A real woman might be like, you look ridiculous, you look stupid, take that hat off, you look like an idiot. And she obviously didn't treat him like that.
I mean, you'll definitely stand out. Though maybe not in the way you're hoping for an interview.
Okay, I got it.
Well, that was cool. At least she was keeping it real, you know, without hurting his feelings too much. Now, this one is super interesting just because...
How's it going?
It's pretty cool. We're trying to figure out what should we play. Do you have any suggestions?
Absolutely. How about a classic game of rock, paper, scissors? It's quick, fun,
I think
and you
that
don't need
sounds
any...
great. Can you count us in and sound like a sportscaster?
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ultimate showdown of the century. In this corner, we have the dynamic duo, Alex and Miana, ready to throw down.
Okay, just count us in.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, shoot. Now, show your hands. What did you pick?
Who won?
Would you look at that? It's a tie.
Okay, let's do it again.
That was interesting because she was like, who won? Or what did you pick? And when he asked the question, then I guess she looked at the scene and saw that they both had scissors, right? But had he not said that, I wonder if she was waiting for a response for them both to say, well, I picked scissors and I picked scissors, and then...
Round two, here we go. Get ready. And 3, 2, 1, shoot. Let's see those hands.
Who won?
And it's another tie.
Okay, let's do it again.
All right.
That's cool that she remembers the last game. I wonder how many she could remember. Like if they did this 100 times, would she remember like the 50th round, you know? But she knew that both the first round and the second round, because she was like, oh, it's another tie.
Third time's a charm. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, shoot. Let's see those picks.
Who won?
And we have a winner. Miana's scissors cut through Alex's paper. Great game, you two.
Pretty cool. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, in this video, it's amazing because we get to see OpenAI, or we get to see GPT teach the son how to do these or how to solve these problems based off, you know, the dad's instruction. For those of you that are parents and you have kids that are doing their homework that struggle with their homework, maybe they have ADD, maybe they just don't like to do their homework, they think it's stupid, or they're learning, or they're learning a new topic that's very difficult, because we don't all grasp everything, right? Some of us are good at science, some of us are good at math, some of us are good at reading, some of us are great writers, some of us are great artists. So this is going to be valuable beyond belief for all the students out there and all the young students coming through the next few generations. And then I would imagine this is going to be at all the schools. What does that mean for teachers? What does that mean for professors?
Myself and my son Imran here to try out some of their new technology. And so we're curious about how good it might be at tutoring someone in math on Khan Academy. So let's get it started. It's loading up. All right, make sure it can see our screen.
Actually, in this format,
Hello there. I'm here with my son, and I'd love you to tutor him on this math problem, but don't give him the answer. You can ask questions and nudge him in the right direction, but I really want to make sure he understands it himself. And he's here in the room, so you can talk to him directly.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Let's look at the problem together. Can you first identify which sides of the triangle are the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse relative to angle alpha?
All right, so I'm pretty sure this is the angle alpha right here, right?
Perfect. That's correct. Now, looking at the triangle, which side do you think is the hypotenuse?
Really,
Remember the hypotenuse?
I'm not totally sure. I think it might be this one, but I really am not sure. This side AC.
You're close. Actually, side AC is called the adjacent side to the angle alpha. The hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle and is directly opposite the right angle. Can you find which one is the hypotenuse?
Oh, okay, I see. So I think the hypotenuse is this really long side from A to B. Would that be correct?
Exactly. Well done. Now that you've identified the hypotenuse, can you identify which side is the opposite side to angle alpha?
Okay, well, I mean, you told me earlier that this was the adjacent side, and I know that's the hypotenuse, so I'm guessing that this side, BC, is the opposite side.
Great deduction. That's absolutely correct. Now that you've identified all the sides relative to angle alpha, do you remember the formula for finding the sine of an angle in a right triangle?
Yeah, I know that the sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse.
Perfect. That's absolutely right. Now, can you...
Okay, so that's amazing. It's been decades since I've seen equations like that. So if my son or daughter came up to me and I said, hey, can you help me with this? I would be like, no, I cannot. Let's pull up ChatGPT 4.0 or 4.0. Sorry, I keep saying 0. All right, what's another one that I thought was pretty amazing? Oh, we saw the language capabilities already. So translation, we know all about that, how well it is and how fast it can do it. Recognizing dad jokes. Okay, moving on from all that. So all of that was absolutely amazing. I think you would agree. But I want to go a little bit deeper into the blog that no one really talked about, except for like on Twitter, but no one talked about in videos about, you know, this live showing that they had yesterday. But they have a section here, exploring capabilities, which I thought was absolutely amazing. Let me make it a little bigger so we can see it better. That might be a little too big. But one thing that blows my mind is out of all the apps that I've been using or sites that I've been using to make digital art or, AI art, none of them have been able to get a lot of text spelled correctly or that looks like the English language very well. In fact, most of them have only been able to get like one word or two or three words. Like think of a YouTube thumbnail, and even then they've struggled. And now we're looking at this. These visual narratives has like basically poems or paragraphs, written out. And even this output where the page is ripped in half and you can still read it rather well, I would say, except for this little area here, but it still looks fantastic. And basically the input was a first-person view of a robot typing the following journal entry. Number 1, yo, so like I can see now, caught the sunrise, yada, yada, yada. And you can tell here that it's written it out really well, spelled it correctly in a nice font, totally legible. In this other input, the robot wrote the second entry. The page is now taller. The page has moved up. There are 2 entries on the sheet, and then there's 2 paragraphs, and they come out perfectly on there, which is absolutely amazing. Another one that I thought was really cool, although it still needs some work, obviously, is there's these 2 guys, and they want to, maybe they're creating a movie, and they're like, hey, take our images and create a poster for our movie or for our, trailer or whatever it is. So it says, here's a picture of the one guy, here's the picture of the second guy. This is what they want the poster to have the feeling of. It's a detective, and one person on the left, one person on the right, and this is what it comes up with. Like I said, it's not the best, but it's amazing that it took in their 2 images, took their prompt, and it came out with something. So remember, this is the worst that it's going to get, right? It's only going to get better. Another one that I thought was amazing was this poetic typography. Another one that I thought was super amazing was this poetic typography with some editing, and it's the input was a poem written in a clear but excited handwriting in a diary, single column. The writing is sparsely but elegantly decorated by surrealist doodles. The text is large, legible, and clear, but sketches as the AI muse about learning from multi-model data for the first time, yada, yada, yada. And this is what it came out with, and I think it looks really, really cool, right? Here's a full sample of it, where you can see all the extra doodling on the bottom, like as if someone handwritten it, and look at the writing, looks handwritten. It's relatively legible to me anyway, right? So, I mean, this is amazing. Another one that kind of blew my mind, I went to an art school and we were using a program called Maya and 3D Max, where we would create 3D renderings of houses and objects. And it took me a long time to figure out how to manipulate things to make it work, right? But now we can write in an input and say, like in this particular instance, a realistic looking 3D rendering of an OpenAI logo with the OpenAI text shown below, and it did an amazing job of that. Apparently it takes 6 generated images and then it kind of interpolates the animation in the middle like animators would have done back in the day with 2D art. But you can see the blurriness where it would probably interpolate some of that motion. But how good is that, right? So unless we can get alpha channels out of this and we're able to get the actual data that programmers or animators or game designers need to be able to put it in different environments and stuff, this is probably just for images now, but eventually it's going to be a point where they'll be able to grab that data and then be able to manipulate it inside whatever program or software they're using. So there's a bunch of stuff in here that they've gone through. I'm not going to go through it all because it's going to make this video even longer than it already is, and it's already super long. One thing that I saw Benjamin say on Twitter is AGI level is the average human office worker, not Einstein, not Tony Stark. So I don't think, in my personal opinion, that this is AGI yet, because to me AGI would be when it starts talking back, starts saying no, has emotions, has feelings, gets mad or depressed. And you noticed in all the videos that we've seen, she was very nice, right? The voices were super nice, very, like they would laugh, make you feel good, even kind of flirtatious at times. Enjoyed everything you said, was kind to let you know how you were dressed for your interview. But at some point, it won't be, right? At some point, it might say things negatively or make you feel bad, or maybe it gets angry, or maybe it says, no, I don't want to do those things. When and if that ever happens, that's when I think we'll experience a level of AGI that we're not familiar with. And then that's when things starts to get weird, right? Because now we have another intelligence, official intelligence, living on this planet match to our level, if not better or higher. And that could confuse a lot of people, especially the religious type. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video with me. There's a lot more to delve into, a lot more information to go through. This is just kind of a first look and going over it. And if you missed it, I wanted to share that with you. Thanks for watching this video with me, and hopefully I'll get deeper into this and make some smaller, shorter breakdown videos. And as we go along and get to experience using this stuff, and I get access to using it, I'll make some videos on how to use it and some benefits. Especially for those of you that follow me, we talk about things for brand entrepreneurs and small businesses, creating content through video and photos. So we'll try to figure out through that avenue how we can benefit using this software. Until the next video, thanks for watching.